Hey guys, this is your host Jordan. Just wanted to let you know that this was the first time that I recorded an episode outside, and so there was a little bit of external noise coming just from cars driving by and kids playing outside, so I apologize for that, but nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and thank you so much for listening.
Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to take a quick second to tell you about the show's awesome sponsor, Anchor. Back in 2019, when I started this podcast, I didn't know much about podcasting at all. Luckily, I came across Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free, it has built in creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can also be heard on all the major platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 805 Uncensored Podcast, where we discuss leftist politics, music, history, spirituality, and more. If this is your first time tuning into the show, thank you and welcome. So, this is episode number 54, and tonight on the show I have the pleasure of speaking with Christian, Tyler, and Ben from Loc Dawgs. It's a punk rock, grunge, and good old-fashioned rock band out of the Santa Barbara area. So, 805 represent.
Oh, yeah? Yes, sir.
On this podcast, like I told you guys before we started recording, I love talking to local musicians. So, really great to have you guys on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, anytime. Super stoked for the conversation. So, would you guys just like to start by introducing yourself, talk about your roles in the band? Christian, how about you go first?
Okay. Yeah, I'm the lead singer, play guitar as well. And, yeah, basically, we're just a three-piece hard rock band from Santa Barbara. Basically, started in, 2019-ish. And, yeah, the lineup hasn't changed much. It's been me and Ben from the start, pretty much, who we'll get introduced here in a second. But, yeah, that's it. I play guitar, vocals.
I'm Tyler. I play bass, occasional harmonies.
Yeah.
And I'm the Beatmeister Ben, laying it down as always.
Super rad. Thanks, guys. So first off, right off the bat, do each of you come from musical or artistic families? I was curious to know that.
I do for sure. My dad designed recording studios for a living, and then played in a bunch of bands and his own solo stuff, in the 80s and 90s. So that's basically where all my music comes from, is my dad.
I personally don't have any music in the family other than my step grandpa. He was a K-Tide radio podcaster back in the day, so not blood related, but that's the closest I got.
And my dad was a drummer, but he never did anything with it. So he was always pushing for me to do something with it, whether it be in a band or.
Okay. So what would you say? What would you say was the main driving force for each of you guys to decide that you wanted to become musicians?
My dad, for sure.
Probably my dad as well.
Yeah.
Just being around music at a young age for me, and seeing the impact it has on people, the artists themselves too. I was like, man, I want to do that. Everyday life, I feel all the times that I come up with ideas for whether it's lyrics, melody, or even guitar riffs, I'm about as far away from a guitar or legit recording area as possible. I just I don't know, shit that I hear people say at the grocery store shit, or I used to work at a coffee shop, and we had tons of wacky people come in all the time. And so I actually used a lot of what they said as lyrics just because I thought it was entertaining as hell. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's pretty, it looks pretty good, and it works melodically with some stuff I'm working with. So
That's super interesting. I like that.
Yeah. And also especially nowadays, with all the stuff that's been going on,
Mm-hmm.
I heard some of the wackiest conspiracy theories when working at that coffee shop, and I was just shit was so comical to me that I was like, I have to write this shit down. Like, it needs to go somewhere. But yeah, honestly, like
Like
all that
what?
stuff
Like
is
QAnon or like 9/11 stuff?
all of it, dude. QAnon for sure was a big thing. I had people telling me that I had been, you know, chipped up to, you know, the government was tracking me. Like, someone asked me if I was putting stuff in their coffee. Like weird. It was a lot of, honestly, like, it's really sad too because there were a lot of homeless people because the coffee shop was on State Street, so it was a lot of them. They'd come in and just kind of like weird and like super hesitant, and like sometimes I'd give them free coffee because we'd have like, you know, a little coffee left over at the end of the day. And they'd be all questioning it. They'd be like, "What's in this, man?" I'd be like, "Just coffee, caffeine, bro. It'll get you jacked. That's about it." But, yeah.
Kind of similar to what Christian said. I don't really ever sit down with a guitar or any instrument of my own and write a song. It's always like, I don't know, I always come up with like these melodies in my head almost, and then after that I'll like maybe make a voice memo or a recording of it, and then go home, figure out the melody on guitar or whatever instrument, keys, bass, whatever it is, and then lyrically pretty much everyday life, I would say. Just
There's been times where I'm like working and I think of like a riff in my head. I'm like, oh, that's a badass riff, you know? Dude, literally, dude, I'll run into the bathroom and pull my phone out and just like sing it into my phone. And I'll get home and play it, like try to transfer it over guitar. I'm like, nah, that didn't work. But dude, so I have like over 1,000 voice memos on my phone. It's just random singing, good riffs, licks, whatever.
That's fucking sick. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I've literally, there's been times too where I'm at work where I hear people say shit and I will just like talk into the voice memo, and then write down the lyrics later or like the words later. Just all that stuff, dude. My voice memos are full of shit.
All happens at the most random times.
Yeah.
I can imagine. That's a lot. You said like 100?
No, I got like over 1,000 voice memos. It's clogging up my storage on my phone.
Oh, 1,000. Yeah, that's what you said. Fuck.
It goes back a ways though. It's not like, you know, the past month. It's like over the past like couple years, but still.
Just like since like 2019, like when the band started, or just like even before that?
Probably a little bit before that. I was in a band called Stolen Thunder a little bit before that, and we wrote a lot of original music for that too. So, and honestly, even when I wasn't in either bands, just like I was always writing, whether it was lyrics or riffs. I didn't really start writing lyrics till Loc Dawgs, but yeah.
Same here. I think it dates back to like 2015, 16. Yeah. When I first started doing voice memos and all.
Oh yeah, like you definitely put in a lot of hours.
Oh yeah. I've got more voice memos on like my old iPhone from school. That's probably somewhere close to 1,000 also. That thing doesn't even turn on though.
What would you say that, like, who are some of your primary music influences? Like, whether it be bands or individual solo artists, I always think that it's fascinating to hear about the artists that musicians are inspired by.
Yeah, definitely. For me personally, I was definitely grew up a big 90s kid and still am, honestly. All that like Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. A lot of punk too, Black Flag, Minor Threat, Bad Brains. That's more like 80s, but
also fucking good.
All kind of, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got like big old Bad Brains poster in my room. You can't see, but yeah. And then honestly, lyrically, like my dad listened to a lot of like singer-songwriter stuff. So like a lot of like Neil Young, and I was raised on a lot of, and then like a lot of just his kind of
like folk rock.
Yeah, exactly. Cause there's some like what's the song? Is it Down by the River? And I think the Neil Young song, the like chorus is like Down by the River. It's like I shot my baby. Like all the lyrics are just about like it's down like about the South and just like shitty things. And you're just like, whoa. But it makes an impact. It catches your ear and you're like, whoa, that shit happened. It's gnarly.
He's super good. I used to listen to Heart of Gold on replay, like over and over again.
Yeah, it's a great song.
How did
I'm gonna have to second that on Christian.
Yeah,
Peace music. Johnny Cash, oddly enough, that was
Yeah,
like
Johnny Cash.
one of my favorites growing up. My first pet fish was named Johnny Cash.
That's rad. Fuck yeah.
Dude, it broke my heart when I found out that Rusty Cage was not a Johnny Cash song. But it also it made sense. I was like, oh. Then I heard the Soundgarden version, and that's that was honestly, I think that was the first time I ever actually heard Soundgarden.
Rusty Cage. Yeah, a good one.
Because I looked up the lyrics, and I was like, I think I was like 12 or something. I was like, oh, I want to learn how to play this song. And I was like reading on some lyric website, and it said Chris Cornell, and I was like, that's not Johnny Cash. But
He was just so cool for so many different reasons.
yeah.
Man in Black, standing up for prisoners, performing in prisons. It's like
that movie, Walk the Line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Was it Joaquin Phoenix?
Yep.
And that one?
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Pretty good like film adaptation for an artist, because oftentimes Hollywood fucks that up pretty bad.
Oh god,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, did you guys see Bohemian Rhapsody?
I
did
did
not.
not. I
I
don't
didn't.
think any of this.
No.
Okay,
I really
yeah,
wanted
they
to.
just completely made shit up.
Yeah, my mom wanted me to see it really bad. She's like, "You're gonna love it." I'm like, I have this feeling that I might hate it.
Yeah,
I was like,
don't want to
depends on how accurate it is, because
Right, it's not accurate, so you probably won't like it.
yeah, that's so crazy.
It's very Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, it was like what was the Motley Crue movie too?
Oh,
I didn't
They
see
had
it.
a movie?
I saw that
Yeah,
one.
The Dirt.
I kind of like that one actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was a good movie, but it's funny because everyone I would talk to, they're always like talking about, like, oh, that movie was so gnarly, bro. Like, I can't believe they lived that way. I'm like, bro, that was like a mild version of what they did.
Very mild.
Yeah, they were.
Very mild.
Like,
I don't think they legally could have put what actually happened in the
yeah,
film.
probably.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. How did each of you decide like what instrument that you wanted to play? And also, in the case of a couple of you, when did you realize that you also enjoyed singing?
For me, I've always been like I play a bunch of different instruments. I play drums, I play bass, guitar. I've dabbled in trumpet for a little while, and
Really?
cello, a long time
That's
ago.
it.
A long time ago.
And
It's been
he said, and cello.
And
yeah,
cello.
it's been years. But nah, I've always played guitar, and in my old band, Stolen Thunder, I sang like harmonies on a couple songs, and then there was like a couple songs where we like towards the end of it, like we started doing like little like kind of duet things. I had like almost like little solo parts,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, dude, there's something to me about like singing that I was like, oh, this is kind of rad, and I was like, and I'm singing these songs that I grew up listening to, you know, that I've had such a like deep connection with, and I was like, I can only imagine what it'd be like to like sing your own lyrics in front of people. And so then I started just writing a bunch of songs, kind of in hopes of one day being like, oh, I'll be in a band where I'll sing my own lyrics. And then, and then it kind of honestly turned into this.
For me personally, I was gifted a fake plastic electric guitar when I was like, I don't even know, probably 6 or 7. And I also had like one of those little radios, and I would just stick in like Johnny Cash CDs, Jack Johnson CDs, and just like fake play along to all the songs.
Jack
And then,
Johnson, hell yeah, I'm gonna go see him in October.
Classic. And then when I was 8, I started taking guitar lessons, and then from there on, it was just never stopped playing. And then singing, I was in a couple older bands that I had, and I was always the lead singer in that, and it was just, I've always liked singing more than talking personally, so I feel like it's a better way for myself to get out emotions and whatnot. So,
Dude, for sure.
yeah.
I hate talking.
Yeah.
I was that kid who hid in the corner when it was my turn to present.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten to an age where like I realize that I don't hate talking per se, but I fucking hate small talk. Like just forcing
Yeah,
conversation with people.
Dude, I love talk. That's like my favorite. Like, I don't know. I sell tires for a living, so I mean, it's like
I like
I'm pretty good at it. So
Small talk.
yeah, that's
Dude,
fun.
I hate when I'm not a fan of small talk. because there's times where I'm talking to people and there's like clearly the conversation is going nowhere and people just
Right,
keep
like they're
trying.
just talking just to talk.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like man, if you really want to like talk this bad, like here's my number. Let's go grab a cup of coffee or something. But like I'm trying to do some grocery shopping or whatever I'm trying to do. Like when I go run my errands, leave me alone.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
know, if
kidding.
you want to talk about like metaphysics or the universe or like,
Yeah.
you know, parallel universes or something, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
all ears. I'll be there for hours.
Oh
But if
yeah.
you want to talk about like the weather, like there's nothing fucking there, dude.
Yeah. Facts.
This
You're
is
like,
a
how's the
10-minute
weather?
conversation.
Yeah, you're like the weather is exactly the same as it has been for the past year in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
It just doesn't change here very much.
Yeah, so like what would you say some of your main goals as individual musicians are? And then maybe talk about some of the goals of the band as well.
Honestly, for me, just to like I don't know, make music that like people enjoy listening to. I like I just think it's cool when we play like original music and people actually have like a good reaction to it, and I'm like, because I've always been like listening to music, I'm like, it was almost like music is therapy for me. You know, I listen to shit, I'm like, oh, this person like went through that shit too, or like maybe it wasn't exactly that, but like the lyrics spoke to me in a certain way. So I think for me, it's really cool to be able to like almost like give it back a little bit as like an artist. And so it's like there's that, and then also you know if I could one day make money or make some sort of living off this, that would be super cool. If I didn't have to work. But
I
Yeah,
think
that's
my
exactly
main
how I feel
goal.
about the podcast.
yeah, exactly.
One of my main goals with music, I personally love just like solo recording. I have like a little studio set up in my house, so I think my main goal is to like have the money to buy my own studio one day and just have everything set up, ready to go 24/7, just with the click of a button, start recording. Personally, that's like one of my dreams. And then band wise, yeah, I've grown up pretty much always wanting to be in a band, so having it actually kind of come true right now is more than enough for me.
Yeah.
Just playing shows.
Yeah.
Playing shows is super fun. Energy of the crowd is it's addicting when you get decent crowds after a while.
Nah, that's awesome. You guys enjoy collaborating with other artists?
I don't think we've really done that.
Yeah, we haven't dabbled in it too much. I mean, we play lots of shows with like friends bands and whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
in terms of actually like recording, we're like maybe the only collaboration we've ever really done was like we played a show at a Rockfire Grill out in Isla Vista. Big shout out to them. He's my homie. They're super rad. Go get a dank flatbread pizza. But yeah, dude, we played a show out there with our buddy's band called Stilljoy, and at the end of the night, I was like, dude, we should all play a song together. So we all played Territorial Pissings, and we had like 9 people on stage. Not really stage, but like where the band was playing, you know. And it just like there weren't that many people there, but it was like it got so rowdy so fast that like everyone was just going crazy. The people that were there were like up and dancing, and then I ran up onto a table and tripped getting up onto the table and spilled beer all over my dad. My dad like jumps up and he's like, whoa. And, or I think it was water, but I thought it was beer. And I was like, in the moment, I was like, oh, that was so stupid. I was like, fuck this, I'm going to get down now.
But you guys would like be open to more collaborations if the opportunity presented itself?
I would love to collaborate with people. It's definitely like I would be super stoked. Like lately, we've just been playing so much and working so much that we haven't really had time to even just like practice or write stuff ourselves. But like when we have time and the time comes, definitely like when we're writing and recording, I already have like a list of people that I'm gonna be hitting up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate as a podcaster. I'm always kind of looking at other shows and other people like, oh, I would love to have you on my show, or I would love to work with you. And I've been doing a lot of that lately, and it's just super fun.
Yeah, I love collaborating. It's fun. It's cool. It's cool to get like work with people that you like, especially like with music, work with people you don't usually work with.
Yeah.
Like, people's other like creative process when it meets yours, and like just see how that kind of like unfolds, because sometimes it's fucking wild.
Right. Or you just like,
Yeah.
you work with somebody and then you kind of get to know them and you're just like, man, like I really fuck with your energy.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you say like an average day looks like for each of you?
Lots of work.
Yeah, I work a lot, so it's hard to like do music and work, but like you have to like make time for it.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like you could always make time for the things you love.
Oh,
no matter
Capitalism's
what.
the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of work for me personally. Just got hired at this overnight valet job, so I'm working in the daytime and at night. So
11 to 3. What a fun shift.
11 to 6 a.m.
11 to 6.
Oh, fuck, it's even worse.
Is it paying the bills though?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. Well, that's good.
I'm
'Cause
saving up for tour right now.
that's all that really matters, man. It's hard to fucking find any jobs right now that are able to sustain any kind of a living.
No one really wants to work right now too with COVID and whatnot. So
Yeah.
It's pretty, I just do a lot of practicing, honestly, right now. I was working and then I quit like my job like about 3 weeks ago. I've been working here and there out at my parents have like a wine and beer bar out in Solvang that's also a music venue that we played at a couple times, and I do some beer tending out there here and there. But
I like Solvang. It's a cute little town.
yeah, it's cool. It gets super touristy at times where it's like I'm just like, dog, nah.
Yeah. So
Some of the
I've
people-
heard.
Yeah, it's a little much sometimes.
What are your guys' thoughts about the relationship between the internet and music?
ooh, it's a good one.
Hate it, but I love it.
Yeah, man.
It's one of those things that's like I'm like a very like anti-internet social media kind of person, but like I have to be into it when like we all do. Like as a band, like if you don't have your shit together on social media, like no one's gonna even know you're in a band.
That's like all it is these days.
Yeah.
Everything's social media. If you're not
yeah.
consistent on it, then people forget about you super
Yeah.
quick. So.
Yeah,
I
you,
Because there's so much shit out there. It's
you
Yeah,
absolutely have to have an online presence.
Yeah.
you have to constantly be putting stuff out there, otherwise it's you
And
get
not
lost
just-
in the sauce.
Not just random stuff too. It's got to stand out to
Exactly.
like many different audiences. So
Mm-hmm.
it's also tough for a heavier rock genre band because
Yeah,
it's not
especially
everyone's
in a
right there.
climate like here.
Yeah.
Do you
It's not
guys
feel like-
do you guys manage your own social media accounts, or does somebody else do it for you?
No, we
Mainly
do.
Christian.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
Christian's
it
the
all.
man. He hates it, but he's got to do it. He's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've learned to kind of enjoy it. I don't know. It's not like terrible. It's cool to like I've been getting really into like I don't know, just like I've been finding like so many sick bands, not like from Santa Barbara, whether they're like Santa Barbara, Ventura, Oxnard, San Francisco, like all over the place, and just like kind of like chatting with bands and be like, yo, you guys are rad, like if you guys ever want to play a show in Santa Barbara, like hit us up, we're down. And like or like if we come down there, maybe we could hit a show together sometime. There's something cool about that where like you didn't used to have that like instant connection, which I think is pretty cool. But
Right.
sitting on a phone for hours a day was not fun. Or a computer.
Yeah, so it definitely has some benefits and some drawbacks.
For sure. Yeah, we played a show with like a super rad band down in Orange County, and they're called Spliff Riff, and honestly they're just super rad dudes, rad band, and I just found them on Instagram and I was like, hey, like we got this show booked, do you guys want to play? And I think there's like it's something super cool about that, because then you're like you don't have to like know everyone like on like a like personal like basis, you don't have to just be like, oh, like you can literally go on Instagram and be like, oh, here's this band from Orange County, they look cool, let's play a show with them,
Right. Yeah, that's
I dig.
definitely an opportunity that's available that wasn't always available for sure.
and that makes just playing shows kind of easy too, and like finding bands like similar to us because we've struggled with that in Santa Barbara. There's not a lot of like, I wouldn't even say we're like a heavy band, but like heavy compared to like
reggae.
Yeah, Santa Barbara's
or like indie rock. It's like you have to like find a good like happy medium, because if it's just you got an indie rock band and then you have the Loc Dawgs come on, it's just such a huge like difference in sound.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say energy, because these cats bring like the same energy.
Yeah. And there's great indie bands out there.
Exactly.
And we'll play with anyone. We're stoked to play with anyone.
Yeah, 100%.
It's always fun when you like have like, I don't know,
matching
or
like matching musical vibes, I guess. Yeah. It's not that, you know what I mean? It's just like,
I feel like we've played plenty of shows where like we're the heaviest band there. Like I said, we're not a heavy band, but
yeah, like
people will kind of standing there and like, why is this guy screaming into the microphone?
Right. You know? Like you guys are open to pretty much working with anybody, but you would rather work with somebody that's more or less along your wavelength in terms of music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, in terms of getting our music out there too, and like not building like kind of a fan base, I feel like it makes more sense too for us, you know, because then you get people who are like, oh, this band's super sick, versus like came here this indie band and now my ears are blown out. Yeah.
It's kind of funny when you have like two bands that are like completely different genres.
Yeah. And I mean, I love that. I've been to so many shows where I was so surprised, you know, going to see one band and then having like,
yeah, right.
I saw Turnstile a little while ago with Citizen, and that was a pretty rad show. Two fucking amazing bands, and they had this like rap group open up for them. It was like these two girls. I forget what they were called, but oh my god, dude, it was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I like show up and I just hear, you know, like the I was like, oh, I thought it was just like the house music or something, and then I see people on stage. I'm like, whoa. I was like, wait, why is there a DJ? I was like, what's going on right now? And they were just like, it was comical. I was like, whoa, this is something for sure.
Oh, what a trip.
Yeah.
What do you guys enjoy the most and the least about being musicians?
Attention.
Is that the most or the least?
You like the attention?
Like my least favorite. No, I hate like, I don't know. I'm very like critical of like my drumming. So when people are like, "Oh, that was like you're the best drummer I've ever seen," I'm like, "Trust me, dog." I'm like, I am not the best drummer like in Santa Barbara. You know what I mean?
You're like, dude, your bar is below the ground.
I'm like, thank you, bro, but you know, please.
I'm the best drummer in Christian's bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But
kidding.
It's like it's super cool to get recognition like that, because you know, as someone who's like, there it could always be better, and then someone's like, wow, you just fucking blew my fucking mind away. Like,
yeah, it's definitely great for your self-esteem.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, we played a show in LA, and there was this guy. He came up to us, and we get like a good 15, 20 people come up to us. They're like, whoa, you guys are sick and this and that. And he came up, he said, I'm a drummer, and you blew my mind away. Like, I've never seen anything like that. And I was like, thanks, man. But, like, you know, I didn't even, like, know what to say.
Yeah,
and I was just like,
sick ass compliment, dude. That just, like, kind of sticks with you forever.
Yeah, and that's the part I like that is the most, as far as, it's kind of funny. Like, that's the best part and that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Right, because it's like a balance, right? You know, you don't want to be, like...
Exactly.
You want to stay humble.
You get a big head, it's all like, oh, this guy's a fucking dick. Like, you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
But you also want to be like confident in yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy when like someone who's clearly like a bit better guitar player or like a better singer than me, you know?
Yeah.
So, I'm like a okay singer, you know, but
You're
like
not bad.
there's like I'm not bad.
Yeah,
I'll live with that. But no, but like when someone who's like a fucking like phenomenal singer comes up to me, I'm like, and they're like, yo, that was super sick, like I love that melody, or like I'm like really? You know? But like thank you so much, but like whoa. Like that's kind of crazy. I love that. It's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Definitely gonna have to agree with what Ben said. 100%. Attention is a little odd sometimes, but especially from like getting it from something that you love doing.
Yeah.
People recognizing you for that.
Also, like I'm such a like shy person naturally, so like when people come up to me and try to talk to me about like whether it's like my gear or the songs or that or anything like, or just to come up and talk, I'm usually like I try to be as like outgoing and like cool as possible, but I feel like sometimes it comes off as me being a dick because I'm just like I don't know how to talk to people for the most part. But the attention, man, it like people come up and talk to me like when I'm like when we get off stage, I'm like, yeah, like thank you, and that's like all that I say because I'm like I don't know what else to say.
I could relate to that because like I'm not trying to be like an asshole. Just sometimes I literally don't have anything to say.
Yeah, well, and it's like I don't know. You compliment me and I say, oh my god, thank you so much. Like glad you enjoyed the show or something, and then it's like there's always like people who like they expect more.
Like, yeah, right.
I hit a guy back with like, yeah, you too, man.
Oh, fuck, I thought you were gonna walk away.
Oh man, yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So,
like, oh man, you killed it. I'm like, yeah, you too, man. And I was like, that was not the right thing to say.
Yeah. You guys have anything else that you want to say about that, or can I ask the next one?
I can go with the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like primarily a political show, but I obviously talk about music, philosophy, and a bunch of other shit. So I was curious to know, are there any social issues that any of you guys are passionate about?
I wouldn't say like passionate as in like I'm passionate as in like I'm very like supportive of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
We don't write a whole lot of like political music really either. Like there's definitely a lot of like influence in it, and like a lot of the lyrics coming from like I don't know, I write shit about like news articles I see and shit.
Yeah.
Definitely for me personally, like all the COVID stuff that was happening
Mm-hmm.
was pretty like wild, and like working through it too. I was kind of like, because there was a lot of stuff where I'm like, okay, like, it doesn't seem so bad, but like people are saying it's bad, and you just didn't really know like what to believe a lot of the time, I felt like. And I'd have people coming in there telling me this, telling me that, telling me this. And I kind of honestly, like, my big thing through it all was just like, no one knows shit. That was what I thought of all that stuff.
Or everybody knows a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but everyone thinks they know everything.
Yeah.
So it was like I'd have people come and tell me like, oh, like masks aren't real. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm wearing one. It is real. And they're like, well, it doesn't work. And I was like, okay, well, like, even if it doesn't work, at the end of the day, it made people comfortable and feel safe, and made people like be like encouraged to go outside of their houses again and shit.
Yeah, like why does it affect you?
Yeah, I was like, honestly, dude, like at the end of the day, a mask is not that big of a deal. It's like I'm standing here for 8 hours behind a fucking coffee machine with a mask on the entire time. If I can do that, I think you can wear it for 2 minutes while you're in here ordering.
Yeah, right. I still always wear a mask whenever I'm indoors, and I don't have any I'm not immunocompromised or any of that. It's just I care about other people and don't want to get them sick.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I wore a mask for a little while. Lately I've been a little more lax about it, I'm not gonna lie. But it's just because it's kind of it's been kind of nice, and like obviously I don't go anywhere too crazy, except for that Turnstile show that I went to, and that was a little much. I was like, it was weird to be around people again. I was like, whoa, people are sweat is dripping on me. This is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's pretty much the most like outspoken. Like,
I mean, yeah, it was pretty difficult to go through 2020, all the events of the pandemic, which we're still dealing with to this day, and then not get radicalized in some way.
No, totally. And then like, I don't know. I'm not, and like I said, I'm not outspoken in the sense of like I'm not,
like an activist or anything.
I'm not on like my Instagram every day posting about shit,
Mm-hmm.
But I keep myself updated, like all the shit going on with like the Roe versus Wade and like abortion and shit's fucked up.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys are involved like in some of the work in your community.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm definitely not. I'm not quite the Instagrammer, and honestly, I don't write a lot of political lyrics just because I think that, like, unless it's something that's so obviously like, dude, this shit's so fucked. Like, honestly, the shit that's going on right now, I'm not gonna lie, I've wrote some lyrics about it because it's like, how could I not? And like COVID, it was like, I'm hearing all this shit. Like, how can I not write something about this? You know?
Yeah.
That's
Everyone
that like
has
almost
to live with it.
yeah, exactly. And that shit was like angering me, and I'm like, how do I process my emotions? I write down lyrics. You know, I write some shit down. But
Right.
yeah,
Music is such a great outlet for dealing with all of that negativity.
yeah, seriously, it's perfect. Yeah, we wrote like one song, or I wrote the lyrics for one of our songs that, like, we don't have it recorded or anything. We just play at a show. It's called "Falling Apart," and the lyrics are kind of about like when I was like working in that coffee shop throughout COVID and just hearing all the different sides of all the different situations that were going in. Because, like, I don't know, working on State Street, it's a lot of tourists. You know, not a lot of people from Santa Barbara, so you get a lot of like super conservative people coming in talking about, like, I don't know, just like BLM, you know, COVID, just like everything, and you're just like, whoa. Or you get like the extreme left coming in like right after, so you'd be like talking, you have like one switch flip talking to one person, and then someone else comes in, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, this is totally different, like just like within like 5 seconds, and it's like it kind of scatters your brain a little bit. You're like, I don't
Right.
even know what's going on. You know,
For real.
You just kind of just sit there and be like, okay, I guess that just happened. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie, that was almost every day. There was a lot of me and my coworkers being like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like, I don't know. Do you guys watch stand-up comedy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Do you know who Tom Segura is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got like this bit where he's just like, I don't know, man. Do any of you guys just kind of wake up and just look around and say, like, is anybody else seeing this shit?
Dude.
Like, all the fucking time.
Oh my god, dude, I feel like that's like the story of my life. I like, and just like honestly, like everyone I know, me and my friends like send each other Snapchats of all the shit that we see on like a fucking day. Like every day, I get so many videos of just random shit going on. I swear, it's some people out
People
there.
are
Man.
crazy.
People are nuts.
Right. Like you could spend one afternoon in Los Angeles and you could have like 10 different stories.
Literally,
Minimum.
yeah, minimum.
Like, this is what I saw, this is where I was, this is like, and you're just talking continuously for like 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. I don't know how people like go about like their days and just think like all this stuff is normal, you know?
It's honestly like a big time position of privilege.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So like back to the music. What are some like common misconceptions about punk rock and grunge that kind of piss you guys off, if you know of any?
That it's all like the same.
Mm.
All
Yeah.
screaming.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
there's like
it's conflated.
yeah,
Dude,
there's just so many different like subgenres to every single style of music. To where that's why when people ask us all the time, what kind of music do you guys play? I'm like,
we just say like
I have no fucking idea
I say rock.
what to tell you.
I usually just say rock, yeah.
Yeah, like hard rock. But then you like when I think of hard rock, I think of like Van Halen
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
not even Led Zeppelin. That's like classic rock. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
I don't know. We just play music, man.
We play
Like Black Sabbath or something.
rock. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or like early
Exactly.
like fuck. I don't even know, bro. It's like it's so hard.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions about punk that pisses me off is that like punk has to be bad. You know?
And like the
like-
lifestyle behind it too.
Punk has to
Yeah,
be back.
well,
You
like-
said-
no, I go.
Sorry?
you said punk has to be back?
Bad.
Oh, bad. Okay.
Like I know plenty of people that like call like certain bands like, oh, they're not punk because this, you know, like they sound good. And I'm like, I don't know, like
'Cause they sound good.
maybe they just practiced a lot. You know? Like I feel like punk isn't really like you don't have to be bad to be punk, you know? It's punk's more of like an idea, you know?
Mhm.
Like there's so many punk bands that sound so vastly different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like honestly, quite frankly, I feel like punk tends to be more political, so like that's why a lot of times I really hesitate on calling us punk, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely heavily tied into anarchism.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, some of our songs dabble in it a little bit, but we're not like, you know.
There's like musical elements of it.
Yeah, I'd say like the sound wise, I could see like a lot
Yeah,
of
you
the,
guys aren't like Pennywise or anything.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. That's like a good way to put it, but I don't know. Grunge is an interesting one too.
I don't know if I'd ever call.
Yeah, I
But
tried
grunge is like was
Grunge was
90.
Nirvana. That was grunge.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna ask you guys if you think that grunge died when Kurt died.
I wouldn't say it died, but I mean, when he left, it definitely kind of went with him. Anyone that calls himself grunge, you're kind of pushing it a little bit, in my opinion. I mean, maybe like voice wise, like if you have that same like tone that Kurt had, but I don't know.
I think grunge was too like because all the grunge bands sounded so different. So it was like it was more of like it was more of like a scene, you know. It was like
Like a culture.
It was kind of like just a subgenre of like rock and punk and metal.
And there's kind of a style that went with it too.
There was a little bit of a style, yeah, but it was a little bit more of like a little bit more like this, like I don't want to say like aesthetic, you know, but like that was a big part of it too, and just like where everyone was from, you know, everyone is located.
Yeah, you're so right.
Battle
I watched this documentary that's like it's all about the '90s, and they talk about grunge, and they're like, oh, you know, grunge kids, they just wear plaid, they they have ripped jeans. Yeah, they live in Seattle. It just became like this corporate bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and then there's like bands like Smashing Pumpkins. Like they're not from Seattle. You know, they're from I think Chicago, if I'm correct. I don't even know. I think they're from Chicago. And then, but like I don't know. To me, like they're definitely a '90s alternative band, but I wouldn't call them grunge. You know. Same thing with Stone Temple Pilots. Like they're from LA, and I love their music a lot. It's not a diss by any means, but it's not grunge, you know.
Yeah,
grunge was that scene that like exploded out of Seattle.
And yeah, matter of fact, before it was grunge, it was called the Seattle Sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just did a photo shoot the other day with this guy Chris Cafaro, who's like, I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he was like,
I haven't.
He shot every like '90s band and actor you could like think of. Like he's showing pictures from like the Jesus Christ Pose music video with Chris Cornell, like just crazy shit, and like telling us endless stories. But he said something that was pretty funny. He said, he goes, you know the band Mudhoney? Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was all so yeah. I mean, and he's just talking about like grunge and stuff. And he goes, yeah, and you know, Mudhoney, they're the only grunge band. Really, they're the only real grunge band.
I was like, what are you talking about? They're the pioneer, but they're not the only one.
Yeah, but like I could see where that statement, because I've actually seen like there's like Instagram pages I follow and stuff that have said that too. They're like Mudhoney, the only real grunge band. I'm like, I don't agree with it, but I understand it kind of, you know.
That makes sense.
Like, but no, definitely like there weren't a lot. I wouldn't say there were a lot of grunge bands either. It was just that Seattle scene, and like that to me, that's grunge. Just those bands in Seattle.
Yeah, I guess I have just a few more questions for you guys.
Cool.
I'm curious to know, how do you alleviate performance anxiety?
Energy drinks.
Shitload of caffeine.
Don't get much performance anxiety as much as I used to, at least, because now it's like if I'm playing a show, like that's what I do for therapy towards anxiety. So I don't know. I used to get really scared about it, but I think now that I'm
in your comfort zone,
front guy of the band, controlling everything, like on Christian's end, I could definitely understand. Like he's got to put everything together and make sure it's going smoothly. So that definitely entails a lot more anxiety. But just being a bass player, like there's not much that comes with it. I'm just doing it because I love it. So I don't know. I mean, if we had like a really big show, then yeah, I might get a little nervous. But just like deep breaths and listening to music beforehand too, that definitely helps.
Chilling.
Energy drinks,
I've been like honestly before COVID, I was gigging, you know, like almost every weekend since like high school, pretty much, you know. So I was like playing a lot of shows. and then I kind of like I would get like the tiniest bit of anxiety, but once we start playing that first song, all the energy comes out, and it's like the second I start moving, it's like it's gone. You know, it's like
Yeah.
My brain just gets distracted and like excited. It's like, oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
But after COVID, you know, I didn't play a show for almost 2 years, and then we played our first show.
That was a little nervous.
I was fucking dude. I was like shitting my pants. I was like watching the band before us play, and all of a sudden, I got this huge like cramp in my like thigh, and I was like so nervous that my leg just started like freaking out. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, why is this happening? And I like literally was just like, trying to like calm myself down, and I was like, my leg was just going off, and it was the weirdest thing. I've never had that happen before.
Was that at the park?
Yeah. And I was like back there like stretching out my leg and stuff. And
Maybe you were just like dehydrated or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a trip, dude. But it was like I definitely was like watching a band play and like being like, oh, I'm about to play for the first time in 2 years. Got my blood going, you know, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, okay. You know, now I'm good. Like I don't even really think about it too much. But every now and then when we play like a couple shows back to back, sometimes like I don't know, my voice will get kind of like tired, you know, and like I'll kind of feel it the day when I wake up. I'm like, oh, this might be a rough one, and that gets me going a little bit. But yeah, definitely, it kind of just goes away. I feel like once you start playing more and more.
Yeah, like you just get used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad, guys. I was muted. How well do you handle traveling and being away from home in general?
I love it. It's
too,
my
yeah.
favorite, dude.
Yeah.
Like when we go to play in LA or something, like the drive down, like we talk about so much shit, and it's like, I don't know, that really helps. Like as far as like band chemistry.
It also makes you feel like you're going somewhere too.
Yeah,
it's not just like playing in our hometown.
It's like an indescribable feeling. It's so sick. And then you get there, you stretch, and you're like, all right, let's fucking get it going. And then you play the show, and then you're like, all right, let's go home. I don't know. It's cool. I love that. I love that feeling.
Yeah, I love it. I'm looking forward to the days where we can, you know, hopefully one day go out for like a couple weeks at a time or even months, dude. Like traveling and music are like my two favorite things to do.
Yeah.
And like to be able to combine them, I'm just like, that's like the life.
Perfect.
Yeah, fucking dream, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
How well do you guys like? Sorry, does anybody else want to answer that question? The travel one.
No, I think
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. How do you guys overcome mistakes during your performances?
You got to play through it.
Just gotta keep it going.
Yeah, because the second you're like, oh shit, and then you look at everyone, and then they're like, well, now that guy in the audience just saw,
Yeah.
and then the guy's telling the lady, and then the guy in front of him heard that.
Yeah.
You just have to keep playing through it. Like I drop sticks all the fucking time, or like something will break on the drum set because I fucking destroy it. And it'll just like cymbals will fall down, and I'm like, okay, you just have to like keep going, otherwise it affects the music, you know.
Fuck it,
I
roll
kinda-
the punches.
You have to, yeah.
It's kind of smashing my bass at like 2 shows ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3 shows ago, and it messed up the input jack. And then we played a show like a week later, and it started cutting out at the last song.
Yeah, made it through the whole show.
Yeah, so I had someone from the audience hold the guitar jack just to make sure it
So
didn't
funny.
cut out the rest of the song. That was funny. Got to make it work.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. I try so hard not to like laugh or something when I fuck up, because sometimes, or even when like one of them like mess up, it's because it's just to me like
you can like hear it though. Like someone from the audience won't be able to tell.
yeah.
We all look at
Dude,
each other at the same time.
like
though.
sometimes like well, I swear to God, sometimes like I'll be singing and my voice will crack, and I'll like be like laughing while I'm singing. I'm just like, that was so bad, and I'm like, wait, you can't do that. Or like if like sometimes like I'll look back at Ben, and if I see him like throw a stick or something like go like 20 feet in the air, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And I'll just like be looking at him like, wait, people can see what I'm doing. Like I gotta pull back for a second.
Just act like that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, there's something about live music though, like with like mistakes. Like that's part of
the show.
I feel like that's part of like the excitement of it. You know, like going to a show and like seeing like something happen. And be like,
I would
"Dude, that was
agree because it's
so-"
the human element of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's special about rock music, or like any music in general that's played with acoustic instruments. Like, there's gonna be some fuck ups. Humans aren't perfect. So
Yeah, I love that.
that's the thing with like EDM and like the DJs. There's rarely any mistakes unless like their laptop cuts out. So a little less exciting in my opinion. So rock music has always been that exciting element to it.
Definitely. I think there's something.
agree.
Yeah. It's just exciting, being like, oh, dude, I was at that one show, when this happened. And people are like, oh, no way, dude, that's so sick. Like, I heard about that, or like, I saw a video of that,
Makes it special.
Yeah, it's cool. I love that.
Fuck yeah, that's super sick. You guys have any advice for up and coming musicians or people who are interested in becoming musicians?
Play live as much as you can.
Yeah, as much experience as you can put under your belt.
Yeah, play live, work hard, don't
Keep
stop.
it consistent.
Yeah, don't worry about what anyone else says.
Yeah, be yourself, honestly. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, obviously work hard. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't work hard, but like, be yourself, dude. There's too many people that just try to be
Like, they want to do the
too
most.
much,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like, people respond more when you are who you are. Like, those people that are fucking crazy that you see are probably actually fucking crazy.
You're
Like,
right.
like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Those dudes are nuts. You see them like
not
on
nuts.
stage and just like what they do. You fucking hear the stories they have. Like, they are that's who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like, some people aren't that way, but try to be that way, and like people see through it quick.
Yeah.
But you just gotta like be yourself, and people will react.
Especially with like social media too. Like, people are gonna question you because you're doing something out of the ordinary. So
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, all right, what the fuck is this shit? Like, you gotta look past that. 'Cause,
Yeah, I've seen so many like cheesy Instagram videos. And
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
it's so bad sometimes.
keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Try to improve your quality as time goes by too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all super great pointers. Thanks guys for that. My last question for you guys before you plug your info is, what does the future look like for Loc Dawgs?
Sky's the limit.
Just go as far as we possibly can.
Yeah, we're I think we're in that stage right now where we're, we've got a shitload of songs, some that we play live, some that we don't, tons ready to be recorded. We've got a couple that we have recorded and we hopefully are going to release soon. Like, I don't know, for us right now, we're in that stage band-wise where we're trying to just make it happen. Who knows if it will, but, we're trying to go for it. So,
Yeah, I can
think-
totally understand that.
yeah, and I think honestly for just every rock band out there of whatever subgenre of rock you are, like, I think now is a great time. It seems like it's almost kind of like
Coming back.
coming
There's
back
like
a little bit,
resurgence.
like,
Yeah.
like, and like with all the like kind of like pop punk stuff coming back, it's
Mhm.
gonna start bringing other subgenres back, and like people are gonna start kind of like diving into that kind of music a lot more, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like it's a very exciting time.
Yeah.
So,
Especially with social
Sorry,
media and
go ahead.
technology.
What was that? Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, especially with like technology and social media, like you can get access to anything the
Yeah.
touch of a finger right now. So with music, like that's a totally new thing.
Yeah.
Because the bands that we grew up with or like listening to, they didn't have any of that. So they were going around to record labels and sending in their set tapes, and that's how they would get all their publicity and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, now you just post something on Instagram and you can blow up.
You can do it all yourself. You don't need a
TikTok.
You don't need a label or anything. You can record everything yourself. And, I don't know. Now's like the best time for music.
Yeah.
The best and the worst, actually.
yeah.
Oversaturation, that could be a bad thing, but
Totally.
end out in some way.
So how can my listeners find your guys' music, and what are your social media handles where people can follow you guys, and do you have any upcoming shows?
Yeah, so Loc Dawgs, LOC_DAWGS. That's our handle for pretty much all social media, Instagram, Twitter. I believe that works on Facebook as well.
It does.
If it does, okay. Yeah, then Facebook too. We got Spotify, Apple Music. We've got a couple other ones too that our music is on, but I'm blanking on them at the moment. But I'm pretty sure 95% of the people that are listening to this probably will be on Spotify or Apple Music. So
Yeah, and I'll add all of your guys' stuff to the description as well.
yeah, exactly. Awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it as of right now. We got no shows on the horizon, but give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook, and we post all our shows there. The second something happens, we're on it. It's on there. So, that's the way to stay up to date with our music.
Yeah, absolutely. Check out Loc Dawgs. They're a sick up and coming band from the Santa Barbara area. So once again, 805 represent. As always, the 805 Uncensored podcast is on Instagram. We're at 805 Uncensored Pod, on Twitter at 805 Uncensored, YouTube at 805 Uncensored Podcast. And if you guys have any guest suggestions, episode ideas, or questions for me, you can shoot me an email at 805uncensored@gmail.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and be sure to stay tuned for more exciting content. We've got some really amazing guests coming in the near future, so a lot of exciting conversations coming. Thanks again, guys, so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, thanks, bro. You too, my man.
All right, peace out.
Peace.